This is just after what we heard last Sunday, where Jesus is teaching parables about the kingdom of heaven. And after teaching the secret meaning to the disciples, he says, it's time to go to the other side of the Sea of Galilee. So they go and they get in this boat, and they're traveling, and this great storm happens. You can just see it cinematically with the boat just rocking up and down. It's taking on a ton of water. It looks like everything's about to sink. The sky is dark and cloudy. Everyone's running around screaming, thinking that this is it. Everyone here is going to die. And then suddenly, pan to Jesus, asleep on a cushion at the stern. He's just sleeping. You can imagine that he was really tired, and when he said, let's go to the other side, he said it more with a yawn than with anything else. He's like, you know, guys, it's time to go to the other side of the sea and get some rest while we travel so I can have more energy for teaching tomorrow. And this is his way of just getting some peace and quiet. And he finally gets this time to get some sleep, and suddenly he's awoken with a start because the disciples are freaking out. Jesus, we're going to die! Because you have to be awake to die properly, according to the disciples. You need to know that you're about to die. You can't be asleep peacefully. Jesus, don't you care that we're all going to die? Why are you sleeping? I can imagine if it were me, my first response would be, well, if we're going to die, I'd rather be asleep than awake. We don't have to see it coming. But that's not Jesus' response. He gets up, he rebukes the wind, and looks at the sea, and he says, peace, be still. Then there was a dead calm. In the movie version of the story in my head, there's just silence. Just utter silence. The water is still, not a single wave or ripple can be seen. Not even the barest hint of wind in the sky. The sun breaking through the clouds. The people on the ship are no longer running around. They're just standing around in awed silence. Only then does Jesus say to them, why were you afraid? Have you still no faith? You can imagine what he said was a little bit more along the lines of, what more do I have to teach you before you realize that I am who I say I am? I am the one you have been waiting for. I am the one who has been sent to save you and to deliver you. How much more do I have to do before you get it? We have almost 2,000 years of knowledge, and we know that what it would eventually take was for him to die on the cross and come back to life before the disciples would finally get it. But here they are being rebuked. And what Jesus is really saying is he's just continuing the story he was teaching last Sunday. Last Sunday was about the kingdom of God and how you can describe the kingdom of God. And that the kingdom of God happens with or without our participation. We have no control over it. What we have control over is whether we choose to live in that kingdom or live in another kingdom. And this Sunday, Jesus is asking us to choose which kingdom that will be. Will we live in the kingdom of this world that's ruled by darkness, despair, and death? Or will we live in God's kingdom, which is ruled by light and love and life? Those are the options before us. We can choose whichever of these we wish. Of course, we want to choose the kingdom of God, because that's the kingdom where we thrive. That's the kingdom where life has true meaning. As we're living in the kingdom of the world, we're told that life is about our time here on earth and being productive and successful and having the right amount of money, the right amount of material possessions, the right amount of family and friends, the right amount of power. Because if you gain enough in this world, then when you die, you die on top, and it was wonderful. But the kingdom of God tells us that all that stuff that the world tells us is important doesn't matter. Because life is eternal. Not in the sense that we will live on earth forever in our bodies. But when our bodies fade away, we will still exist and we will be fully in the presence of God. A God who is, a God who will be just as God always was. Present and there to welcome us with open arms, to welcome us with love into his saving embrace. That's the choice that's before us today. I think it's rather fitting that this piece of the gospel falls on Father's Day, because the fathers in my life that I know have taught me that being a father is not about genetics or biology, but it's about choosing love for those whom we care for. It's about choosing that world of life and wanting life and love and light for those people in our lives who are important, and not worrying about the darkness and the death and despair, because they know that God has it covered. That's what I've learned from the fathers of my life. I hope you all have had the chance to learn that lesson as well. In a few short moments, we're going to welcome a new member to the household of God, because his parents have chosen for him that world of light and life and love. And I pray that you all can choose that kingdom for yourselves, where you feel so filled with God's Spirit that you recognize that light of Christ that exists within you and within me, and it compels you to go out and share that light with the world, so that the people you come across will know that they too can live in God's kingdom. They too are loved so much. And they too can find the light of Christ that lives within them. Choose the kingdom of God, because that's the only kingdom that matters. Amen.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.